In the year 2000, a scrappy little DDD by mail startup called Netflix walked into Blockbuster's corporate headquarters in Dallas and made an offer. Reed Hastings, Netflix's co-founder, proposed a partnership. Blockbuster would promote Netflix in its stores. Netflix would run Blockbuster's online brand. The asking price, $50 million. Blockbuster's executives reportedly laughed him out of the room. That decision, that single moment of dismissal, would ultimately cost Blockbuster everything. Within a decade, a company that had once dominated Friday nights across America would be filing for bankruptcy. The $50 million mistake would become one of the most studied cautionary tales in business history. To understand how Blockbuster fell, you first have to understand how completely it had won. At its peak in 2004, Blockbuster was operating over 9,000 stores worldwide. It employed 84,000 people. Annual revenue hit $6 billion. The blue and gold logo was as familiar as any fast food chain. On any given Friday evening, tens of millions of Americans were making the ritual trip to their local Blockbuster to pick up a VHS or DVD. The company had a near monopoly on how America consumed filmed entertainment at home. Blockbuster was not just a business, it was a cultural institution. But underneath the dominance, a structural problem was corroding customer loyalty. Late fees. Blockbuster collected approximately $800 million per year in late fees, roughly one-third of its total revenue. Customers despised them. There are documented stories of people returning tapes still in the wrapper rather than risk the wrath of an overdue charge. The late fee model was not just annoying. It was the single biggest piece of customer resentment Blockbuster had, and it kept piling up year after year while executives justified it as necessary to the business model. When Netflix launched with a no late fees subscription service, it was not just offering convenience. It was weaponizing Blockbuster's greatest weakness. The corporate dynamics inside Blockbuster made things worse. CEO John Antioco recognized the Netflix threat earlier than most of his peers. In 2004, the same year Netflix had around 3 million subscribers, he launched Blockbuster Online and eliminated late fees for in-store rentals. The strategy was working. Blockbuster Online was signing up subscribers at a rapid clip. But then came Carl Icahn. The billionaire activist investor, who held a significant stake in Blockbuster, went to war with Antioco over his compensation and strategy. The boardroom battle was vicious. Antioco's bonus was slashed. His digital investment budget was cut. Then Antioco left. His replacement reversed the no late fees policy and gutted the online division's growth budget. The company's best chance at survival was dismantled from within. Meanwhile, Netflix was not standing still. It had already begun streaming licensed content in 2007, years before Blockbuster had figured out its online rental strategy. By the time Blockbuster launched its own streaming service, Netflix was already a household verb. You did not watch something on Netflix. You Netflixed it. The cultural shift was complete before Blockbuster had fully registered that it was happening. There is a term for this in business theory, the innovator's dilemma. The very thing that made Blockbuster successful, its physical store network, its late fee cash flow, its real estate infrastructure, became the thing that made it impossible to adapt. The stores were not an asset. They were an anchor. Blockbuster filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in September 2010. The company that had once rejected Netflix for $50 million was by then worth less than $200 million. Netflix, at the same moment, was worth $3 billion. The lessons Blockbuster leaves behind are uncomfortable because they are universal. It is easy to dismiss the threat from a smaller, scrappier competitor, especially when you are the dominant player. It is easy to let the revenue from a hated customer practice blind you to the damage it is doing. And it is catastrophically easy to let internal politics kill the one strategy that might have saved you. Today, one Blockbuster store remains open in the entire world, in Bend, Oregon, independently owned, surviving mostly on nostalgia and tourism. It is a monument, of a kind, to what happens when the biggest player in the room stops listening.